What's going on, everybody? D-Style Boxing. I'm being joined by Boxing Dev and by Mario Munguia, also boxing historian 206 in the building. This is Roundtable Aftermath. A lot to talk about. First of all, how you guys doing? How you doing, Boxing Dev?
I'm doing good, thank you. What about you?
I'm doing great. I'm pumped. I'm excited. All that. Historian, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing all right. How about you? How y'all?
All right. I'm good. Mario, what's going on, brother? Everything's good in the neighborhood?
Oh man, they just put Batman on HBO Max. It's like the best day ever. So, I'm good.
I don't want to be that dude. But I didn't like the Batman movie.
I didn't like it either.
Okay, that's good.
Well, the more times you watch it, I think you start to appreciate it more. Maybe we'll see.
You didn't like it?
I didn't like it either.
You want to feel depressed? Play the most depressing Kurt Cobain song. You know what I mean?
But make it a detective. You were all about this guy's gonna be the ultimate detective. But I'm not gonna lie. Most people figured out shit already. So
something in the way.
He should have gone to college.
Come on, bro. Like we all know that dude shot himself in the tub. And he played his most depressing song, and then you got the emo dude from Twilight. Come on now. Okay, I'm just saying. Anyways, we'll be joined by Doomy and Calix, and maybe somebody else in the second hour. Let's go ahead and get this one started. Okay, now I'm gonna start here with the women, man. Okay, Mikaela Mayer fought the week before. Alicia Baumgartner fought in the undercard. Okay, of the Conor Benn fight. She looked good. Okay, Alicia Baumgartner. And I guess, she looked good. I'm talking about her boxing in the ring, okay? I'm not talking about whatever historian's singing about right now. I'm talking about her boxing in the ring is what I'm talking about. She looked great in the ring, all right? She's very fundamentally sound. She got the power from those legs. I mean, she can crack, she can box, all that. I think she's a total package. Mikaela Mayer's calling her out, right? She doesn't she told Mikaela, I'm the A side. You have to wait. I'm gonna make you wait. You're the idiot that signed with Top Rank. I'm with Eddie Hearn. He takes care of me. Yada yada yada. Boxing Dev, what do you think about Alicia Baumgartner, her performance? But also, do you want to see a fight with her and Mikaela Mayer?
Yeah, obviously. If I look all of the beef that they throw on Twitter, I want to see that fight more and more. But I don't know. Alicia looked great last weekend against Supremacy, but it wasn't the best performance of her because.
Oh, you like it? Okay.
Yeah, it was. I think, in my opinion, it was disrespectful for her to be noticed for that fight with only 2 weeks, and Supremacy too. So we couldn't see the best of that both ladies. Supremacy is a really good fighter, Alicia too, and I want to see the best of Alicia. She's young, she's powerful, she's skilled, she has the EQ to fight. Cause we saw an Alicia. The best performance of Alicia was against Terry Harper. She knocked her out on a brutal way. I don't think she can do the same against Mikaela because Mikaela is too smart too. But it's a fight that definitely I want to see.
Okay, all right. Historian, what you make of her performance, and do you think she's ready to take on a Mikaela Mayer? You think she could beat Mikaela Mayer?
Well, as far as the fight went, it was a pretty good, pretty decent opponent that she fought against, and her performance was I would say B+, A-. I mean, of course, it's hard to look perfect against someone who's of quality. She did pretty well though. I mean, I thought that her jab was on point, the combination punching. And I think she generates good leverage. And I was kind of surprised that the punches that she was throwing that was landing didn't affect her more so, because it looked like, at least on film, that she was like she was in there to knock her out. You know what I'm saying? But she was utilizing the craft of boxing to utilize footwork, movement, angles, proper punch placement and combination punching. She looked really superb in the fight. It would have been nice if she'd have got the knockout, but hey, you can't knock everybody out. So as far as the Michaela Mayer fight, Michaela Mayer is such a good boxer. I'm not a big fan of Michaela Mayer, but she has a really good jab. She has a really good jab, and she can really box on the outside, and she can move. And she's a big woman for that division. I think who has the more natural capabilities, I believe Alicia Bumgarner has that. She has the athleticism, the explosive power, and she has the craft, but the problem is with the size and that jab. And Michaela Mayer, she can get in the scrap when she needs to, even though I don't think it would be in her best interest in that fight with Alicia. It's going to be tough to beat her. And do I think she has a chance? I think she has a slight chance to beat her. Well, I think she has a decent chance to beat her, but I might have to lean towards Michaela Mayer.
Okay. All right. Mario, what did you think about her performance, and what do you make of all this? It looks like she's not too keen or in a rush to fight Michaela Mayer right now.
Yeah, I agree and disagree with both panelists so far. Okay, first of all, I don't think she looked bad. She won on every judge's scorecard, and I think she, pitched a shutout, if I'm not mistaken. So, look, some people go in there looking to duplicate certain results, and that last Terry Harper fight really put her on the map. So I feel like a lot of people who were already on the fence with her kind of jumped over and expected something like, dominating, but she did. It's like you can't be too hard on her because first of all, look, let's talk about the opponent, right? The opponent was 5 for 5 in their last 10 fights, 5 or 4 losses in their last 7. You know what I mean? This is a person who they, fed to them particularly. And for all the talk about, Michaela Mayer, because a lot of people seem down on it, signing with Top Rank, that is a problem. That is a problem. It's like, what did Top Rank expect to do? Like, what was Top Rank's plan at this point? Because I feel like they just wanted a piece of the women's division, and whoever was ready to go at that time, because we're talking about 2018, 2017, right, is when they had kind of first signed her, when they first started putting her really on. Yeah. And they've invested too much. Like, this is a situation where the top 3 people, Delphine Persoon, Alicia Bumgarner, and Michaela Mayer, not necessarily in that order, have to fight. Take a page out of the other divisions and the other most popular women of the sport. Take a page out of their book. Look what everybody's doing. Look at how everybody's making consensus, and everybody's making, consensus, I guess, to get these fights done, because everybody wants the same thing. We all want boxing to rise. We all want everybody to be on the biggest platform they can be anytime they lace up the gloves. And I'm sorry, but neither woman is going to attract much attention unless they're fighting the best of the best. And so all props to Alicia, though, for real.
Okay. A couple of things, and I want to share this, especially those that don't follow the Twitterverse. I think you're missing out. But look, she's quoted saying, "I'm the top dog at 130. You need me more than I need you." And talking about Michaela Mayer, right? She did an IFL interview. They asked her, "Do you think you're the A side?" "Yes, I'm the A side. I'm the one making the fight. I'm this, I'm that." But Michaela Mayer's making the point. Look, I'm the one that's rated number 4 pound for pound by most, by ESPN. Then again, like Top Rank works with ESPN, but take it for what it's worth, right? And so they've just been going back and forth, but it's like, look, let me read this tweet right here. "I took the belt that you wanted so bad, and now you salty motherfucker. My team knows exactly what they're doing and what my next move is. And bitch, you on the hit list. Believe that. Move your big ass up if you can't make 130 no more. My career is flourishing perfectly There you go. Choice belt, then yours. Obviously, she's talking about Choi, the other champion, who, by the way, is not a given, and doesn't mean you're going to beat her. Like, that's a tough fight. So there you go. I don't know. I'm not too sure. I like that language. I don't like hearing, no, you're going to wait, right? I mean, even if that's true, why say it, right? Boxing Dev, I didn't ask you. Who do you think would win a fight between Mayer and Bumgarner?
Oh my god, it's just such a difficult to answer, but I got Michaela. I got Michaela because she's been showing to everybody that she has a really good IQ in the ring. She can make the correct adjustments in the ring. The last fight of her, maybe against Maiva and against Erika Farias, wasn't the best because the scorecards didn't reflect what the fight was really was. But I think Michaela can beat Alicia because she knows how to control the distance. She knows how to use her legs. She has power, not enough power to knock someone out because she showed it against Jennifer Han or any other champions. But I think she can do the correct adjustments to beat Alicia. But I don't know how hard Alicia can hit because Michaela has been hit by some people, some women that hit so hard. So I don't know how hit can. Sorry, me trae. ¿Qué tan fuerte puede pegar Alicia?
You're not sure how hard Alicia could hit, but
Yeah,
I'll tell you, like she spun Terry Harper's head, like spun it.
yeah, but
She
that
was like
Terry
out,
Harper,
like Terry was about to do the thriller, like this, a thriller, like
yeah,
in the
I
middle,
know.
like after that
I
knockout.
know, but that wasn't the best Terry Harper, That was the Terry Harper that he was a year and a half outside the ring because of an injury, because of, a double injury, He broke her hand. And I don't know, for example, I don't think Alicia fought hit so hard than hit hardest than Tasha Jonas, and Terry Harper survived against Natasha Jonas. But I have nothing away from Alicia. I love her. I don't like Michaela. Michaela thinks that she's more than she really is. But it is what it is,
Okay.
guys. She can do the correct adjustments to win.
So if Mayer doesn't get the fight really quick, Mario, she wants the winner of Serrano Taylor. Is she ready for that, in your opinion?
No, honestly, I don't even think that she'll ever really be ready.
¿Por qué te ríes?
But here's look. First of all, I'm picking Alicia, and I'm not saying that the smart move isn't to pick Michaela, and I'm not saying that isn't where the smart money is. If me and Boxing Dev made a bet, like I would be fully prepared to pay up. This is, I think, close to a 50-50 fight. But if I had to give somebody the edge, I give it to Alicia. I'm going to make one point, and that's it. Alicia is still getting better. You can see that in the last few years. She's still getting better, and I still think there's room to improve. I think that she's going to come into her own physically even more, but technically, I think there's room to improve. I don't think Michaela Mayer gets any better than we've seen her so far. I really don't, and I'm not saying she can't get stronger. I'm not saying she can't get better cardio. All I'm saying is from a technical standpoint, I don't see her. I just don't think she's built like that. But we'll see. I've been wrong before. Not lately, but before.
By the way, shout out to H Money in the building. All right. Shout out to you, brother. Hope everything is good. Shout out to H Money. Hey, but H, is Michaela Mayer ready for the winner of Taylor Serrano, in your opinion? Because that's what she wants next if she can't get Bumgarner in her unification.
Is she ready for the winner of or loser of Taylor and Serrano? No. And I like her. I like her talent, and I think she's game. You got to appreciate that. But Katie Taylor has too much volume. She has too much aggression. She has too much. She has low pop to her. Amanda Serrano has solid, above average skills, and she is the hardest puncher, pound for pound, of any woman. All right, maybe of any era, possibly. All right, I don't think she's ready for that. Not right now. She needs to focus on, and that's kind of underwhelming that she said what she said. That what you were reading on Twitter, and a lot of times, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, or whatever, what have you. Sometimes it really brings down the morale. Sometimes because they say things that will make them look like they're ducking, And not saying that she is or anything, but I'm just saying it's underwhelming. She needs to focus on Micaiah Mayer because I think that's her best option to fight, and not only to fight but to win and be the best version of herself and to prove the world that she's one of the best at that division or the best. All right, so that's what I would say, and she's definitely not ready for those two.
And I already know Boxing Dev's answer because she laughed when I asked, like, ready? no, but I think
I caught that.
Like, I'll just say less. But hey, I don't know. I don't know if she's ready right now. I don't. I know she's 31, but maybe wait for Taylor Serrano to get a little older then. Just wait a little more maybe. But if she can't make the weight no more, though, if she's having trouble, she's gonna have to move up. So there's no way around it. So hey, you know what I mean? But I like what Brian said. Like, I don't know if she's ready for the winner or the loser of that fight.
That was well said.
Yeah, I don't know about either one. You know what I mean? Now let's talk about that to finish off with that undercard, or not that earlier card. Conor Benn. Conor Benn goes out there and he destroys the vampire. If there was the name of a vampire slayer or some shit like that. But look, Ben Hiradine, like all I know is that he went out there, bro, and he fucked this dude up. That's all I know. Like, he went out, and people are critical. Oh, but Conor, he would stop loading up so much on his punches, and it didn't matter against this dude. Like he just went out there, and I'm gonna knock this dude out early night. I don't get paid overtime, okay? And people want to talk about his defense. There's no better defense than knocking your opponent out because you get hit no more after that. Okay, 0%. People talking about 20%, 10%. How about 0%? He got hit 0% after that. But he takes the dude out, all right? He makes a statement, right, in my opinion, and I'm pumped up, and then he heard something about another opponent, and then they bring out Amir Khan. I'm like, Khan? It kind of just got mugged today, by the way. He tweeted about it. Hey, they just mugged me for my watch. Like, what?
They booed the shit out of him, too.
Yeah, I just don't get it. But historian, Brian, talk to us. What you make of his performance, and what are they doing? They got to step him up, right? I mean, unless you're hyped up about an Amir Khan fight.
Oh, my God, man. Look.
Are you hyped?
I liked Amir Khan when he beat Marcos Maidana and Zab Judah. And that was how many freaking years ago? 12, 11 years ago. You understand? This guy should have been retired. But, hey, if he wants to throw his chin out there, to get knocked out for a couple $100,000 or a million or £2 or whatever the hell, Euro dollars, whatever the hell else, the currencies over there, then, hey, more power to him. Brooks, or what's his name? Conor Benn, his performance, it's what to expect, what to be expected of. He's a good puncher. He's good at he's above average. I give him that at 147. The dude he fought had to been at least D level at the very most, D plus level at the very most.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
he's a vampire slayer, bro.
Yeah, well, you know what? Then that's the weakest vampire we ever
seen. He beat up Conor McGregor in sparring. Saying.
Yeah, it's the same guy. He's a striker, not a boxer. But regardless, though, look, hey, I would rather see him fight Keith Thurman. I'd rather see him fight
Conor Benn. You're saying?
Yeah, Conor Benn. I'd rather see him fight Keith Thurman or someone like that. Amir Khan, okay, I get it. It's money. Boxing's a business. I got you. But if you're gonna fight Amir Khan should be like a tune-up fight for a fight 6-7 months down the road against someone of a higher class or at least mid-class. Conor Benn, like, and I say this about DAZN, I say this about Eddie Hearn. All right, these guys move these guys like at a snail's pace, and these guys are not getting no work. And a lot of times it just be some look. No disrespect, but it be some bum bashing. He be having his top guys doing, huh? And Conor Benn, that's what we witnessed. And no, I'm not excited for no damn Amir Khan fight. Kell Brook would have made a little bit more sense because he's coming off a win against Amir Khan. But Amir Khan is like he could fight him 10 times in a row and knock him out 10 times in a day. Didn't make sense, man.
Boxing Dev, what did you think about Conor Benn's performance? And what do you think about how Matchroom is moving him? Like they're going to give us Khan next. What do you think? Do you think they should step him up some more now, or you think maybe they don't feel he's ready?
Okay, in my opinion, he was fighting against someone who looks like it was scared. You know, he was fighting against someone who looks scared of him. So that can say anything about you as a fighter. You know, I think he should fight in United States next, and not against Amir Khan, because Amir Khan is not a parameter. You know, I would like to see him against, for example, Josecito Lopez, to see, because Josecito Lopez fought against Crowley last weekend, and and Crowley showed that he is ready for a next step. You know, so if we can compare Ben performance against Lopez to Crowley's performance against Lopez, we will see if he's ready or not. But Amir Khan, definitely, I don't want to see that fight.
Look, guys, Amir Khan's chin. Look, but Mario. First of all, what you make of the performance? But on top of that, like what? And I saw you tweet something funny, and I'll let you say it though about the Amir Khan situation. But what you make of it?
Oh yeah. Listen, first of all, it was a great performance from Conor Benn. You know, when you take out the context, it's a great performance. Look, all of us are degenerates. Why do we pretend like we're not? We watch them do speed back work. We watch them do heavy bag work. Let me tell you, there's never been a heavy bag that's knocked out a fighter, but y'all watch it, right? This is the process for Conor Benn. And I agree, this was a bad opponent choice. It didn't do anything in terms of teaching us. It was a waste for boxing fans. For Conor Benn, he gets paid. For Conor Benn, he gets to say that he beat somebody who was in the ring with, technically was in the ring with boots, you know, even though that ended in one round. But ultimately, I'm not holding this against Conor Benn for two reasons. One, both of you were right. Chris couldn't crack, and he knew he couldn't crack. We kept seeing Conor rolling into punches. Do that against Boots. Do that against Verge. Do that against Thurman. You get your ass, whatever. I'm not gonna say it, but it's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt. You can't do that, right? But he did it knowing where he was, knowing who he was, knowing who Chris wasn't. So that was all beautiful.
By the way, you could cuss on the show.
Yeah, you know, and I know I can, and I love that about this show. But sometimes I'm on other ones and I forget. So yeah, thank you, I appreciate that. But real quick,
boxing the curses on the show.
I know, right? But the thing is that Conor Benn has been fighting better opposition the last few years, better than everybody else has been fighting all the other come-ups. Listen to this list. He fought Chris Algieri last, shared the ring with Pacquiao, and I'm not saying that's a world beater either. He fought Adrian Granados, who's given pretty much a tough fight to everybody. Samuel Vargas, who's been the barrier test for mostly all the top welterweights in the last few years. And Sebastian Formella, who had one loss at the time. Those are good fights for a guy building his record, for a guy coming up. But then to go and revert backwards to Chris, it just does not help. And as far as the Amir Khan stuff, I'll tell you this. Look, that crowd booed Amir Khan because they hate him. because most of the people in UK, his haters, are just super jealous of him. That's the truth. The truth is they don't want to give him his flowers and say what's true. And the truth is he's one of the best offensive fighters we've had in the past couple decades. That's true. He's one of the worst defensive fighters in the welterweight division in the history of the class, but he's one of the best offensive fighters. So ultimately, I think it's a great fight. Why? Because it raises Conor Benn's profile. These guys aren't going to fight. What do you think? Terrence Crawford and Spence are beating down the door to fight a guy like Ben? No, but to fight a guy who beat Amir Khan and gets that recognition, maybe they will.
Wow. Here's what I'll say. I heard because first of all, I don't know, man. Like a historian is H telling the truth? Do they really want to put him in the ring with Paulie, or is he trolling us? What's going on?
No. It sounds like he's serious about this. I need to find some sources.
This is like somebody should get arrested and put in jail to make that fight happen. You know what I mean? But I heard what are they going to do next? Have him fight Linares or what? Oh, Linares, he's good. I mean, Linares is a former world champion. I mean, he's going to give Conor Ben all kinds of problems. I know that's the route they're going, and then what? Are they going to put him in there with Gamboa next after that? Gamboa, it's Ciclón. You know what I mean? He's going to do it. We're going to talk about him in a little bit, by the way, but all I know is that ain't nobody want to see Khan no more. Dude, Khan it's like asking me, hey, you want to watch Khan's asking me if I want to go sail on the Titanic. I can't do that no more. The shit's under the ocean. I can't do it, even if I wanted to. And then even if I do it, an iceberg's going to hit it, it's going to go down. That's how I feel about it when it comes to Amir Khan. I'm sorry, I don't want to see Ben versus Khan, and I don't think this is helping Ben's development as a fighter. Why not Crowley? Conor Ben versus Crowley. Yeah. Why not Conor Ben versus Boots? Why not? He might lose. Okay, he loses. He goes back to the drawing board. He gets better. What's the big deal?
Yeah, but they ain't going to make that fight, though. Come on. Conor Ben and Verge. Listen, ESPN did an article a week ago, and they basically crowned Virgil Ortiz, Boots Ennis, and Conor Ben as the future of the welterweight division. All we can hope, right? Because right now, we're going to get the Khans. We're going to get the Malinajis. We've been boxing fans for too long. We know that who they're not going to fight. But the one thing that could help this situation is these guys build their records and commercial statuses enough that they do what Crawford didn't do, Spence didn't do, and that's fight each other before, this shit turns into a joke. Yes.
I don't want to see Amir Khan fight, period, much less one of the hottest up-and-coming guys. Here's a fight. Why not Conor Ben versus Keith Thurman?
It's a good fight.
It's a lot.
Fight. Now, I know Thurman doesn't want to do that. He wants to fight for everything. He wants the belts. But I'm sorry, you just fought Mario Barrios, bro. It's not like what?
Mario Barrios.
He fought Mario El Barrio.
I would like to see Ben against Josecito Lopez.
Okay,
that's a good barometer test.
Pobrecito Josecito Lopez. We got pobrecito, anda jodido. No, she's like, I don't care.
This is boxing, It is what it is.
Whoa, that's brutal. Hey, she's not lying. But I get it. All right, Amir Chin Khan. I'll watch it if the announcer calls him Amir Chin Khan. I'll watch the fight. But they got to call him that, though. I'm just saying.
What about Amir Khandas out of money? If they call him that, would you do it?
Amir Khandas, yeah.
If they announced him in the arena like that, Amir Khandas out of money, and then that was it. You rocking with it?
Yeah, I'll do it.
Yeah,
let's talk about Stanionis against Butaev, who I had Butaev winning this fight, and it didn't go that way. I scored it pretty wide for Stanionis this fight. I remember I was watching, I was enjoying it, but his punches just looked crisper. They looked They looked harder. They looked like they were affecting Butaev. You know, I don't know what the hell was going on with Joel Diaz in that corner. I have no idea. Joel Diaz was in that corner yelling, "He's finished! Take him out! He's done!" Like I don't know what the hell. I don't know what the hell he was saying. Okay, you don't say finish him if the health bar is still full, dude. Like, what do you mean? Like I don't know. Like I just think I put yourself in Butaev's head, right? The first time he heard him say that, he probably said, "Maybe he's right. Maybe he is finished." Then he goes out there and he sees he's not finished. So, like, why are you lying to me? Now I'm not going to believe anything you tell me. Like, well, I don't know what that was about. Mario, what you think of that, by the way, and what you think of the fight?
I did not see it as a split decision. I'll be honest. I didn't think that the cards reflected the fight. But that said, I felt like it was a great performance for like, look, ultimately you just want to take away the win, right? That's what you want to do, but you also want to leave something memorable. I can't say that it's going to be good if all your memorable stuff is this like craziness and weirdness. And I know we're going to get to the main event, but that's another, aspect of this whole card was really weird at times. But I think it was a good enough win. I really do. I need to go back and watch it just to see if maybe I was just starting to get into a groove and marking off 10s for him, like we do that, right? When we're scoring, we're not really paying attention. Sometimes we do that. But I felt he controlled the fight. I think that, ultimately they're probably going to try to rush this kid. I think a little bit, but we'll see.
Absolutely. Hey, by the way, historic. This was Stanionis's health bar, like in the 11th round, when Joel Diaz was saying he's finished. He's finished. What are you doing? He's finished.
That's hilarious, bro.
Hilarious. What's going on? I don't know what that was about, but that's some of the worst corner work I've ever seen. Like I'm just being honest. But what you make of the fight, brother?
I mean, that was one of the best fights of the year. I would say it was even more entertaining than the fight with Fundora and Erickson Lubin. I would definitely put in my top 5 candidate of fight of the year. It's gonna be hard to top the one that happened over there in England and over there in the British Isles. But point being, that fight, man, I knew Stanionis was gonna beat him, was gonna rough him up. That dude, that stiff ass jab that he had was really the tone setter for the fight for him, and he kept coming. Butaev, though, he was catching them, and they were banging in the pocket. It was a very, very, very rugged fight by both guys, but Stanionis showed a lot more skill, head movement, placement with the hooks and whatnot on the inside, and he just beat the guy up. And especially in the later rounds, I thought that the body work of both guys was very good, and I think they both slowed down because of it. But I believe Butaev, you could kind of see Stanionis kind of slowing down in the mid rounds, but he kind of caught his second win to a degree. And Butaev, he kind of gassed a little bit and slowed down because of those shots. Now, if I'm not mistaken, Stanionis had a hematoma on his right. Was it his right side of his head, or is the left side?
I thought it was like in the middle. No, like kind of.
Huh?
I thought it was like in the middle of the head.
Middle of the head.
I thought, it was like a little off to the right, if I'm remembering correctly. A little bit, but it was kind of centered.
It was centered, yeah,
a little bit.
I thought maybe that's what the corner was thinking. Oh, well, you got him. He's done. Well, I didn't see too much. Yeah. Hey, mind you, that help bar was there in the 11th, 12th round with the damn hematoma on his head.
Yeah.
Okay. Hell of a fight by both guys, but I mean, Stanionis, I'm gonna tell you something. That guy's a problem at 147. I mean, he fought for the secondary WBA title, but that was a world-class championship caliber fight that we saw and we witnessed. And I'm gonna tell you something. I mean, the top 10 in that division better watch out. That guy, I think that I'm telling you right now, with the youthful exuberance that he has right now, the talent that he has right now, I'm telling you right now, he will beat Keith Thurman and he'll beat some of them other guys. I think maybe if you're talking about Boots, him and Boots, that's gonna be a tough fight, man.
I don't know if I'd put him there yet. I'll say this. I do agree that he could beat a Thurman in the near future, but I don't know if that's more because Thurman isn't this, like, to say that, okay, but to make the statement that he's as good as Thurman was ever good, like he's as good as the best version of Thurman, that I can't say, yet. But, is he on that track? It seems that way, but that's a great point, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. That's just the way that goes. You know what I mean? So look, obviously, what I want to say about Stanionis is, I mean, I was judging him off his previous fights. He's never looked this good, and I thought Butaev was going to overwhelm him, and I don't know if it was Joel Diaz trying to motivate him to throw more because he's fit or whatever it was. I just wasn't impressed with that ring work. I think he was yelling, finish him a little too much and not giving him any clear instruction, right? One thing I noticed is that every time Butaev went to the body, I mean, he would always get countered upstairs by a clean, mean hook by Stanionis every time. It's like every time Butaev hit him, Stanionis hit him back. But he didn't always hit Stanionis back when Stanionis hit him first, and that was just a big difference in the fight. And I felt like after like round 8, all of Butaev's punches were just arm punches at that point, That's just how that felt, personally. And shout out to Stanionis. H-Man says he made history. First world champion from Lithuania. You know what I mean? And when you're the first, like to represent your country like that,
yeah.
You know what that means? That means that some little kid over there in Lithuania just saw him win, and he's going to get motivated. He's going to pick up some boxing gloves and maybe take up the sport. It's always good for the sport when something like that happens. And I mean, Lee Grove says Stanionis looked fantastic a few years ago against Shampika. I cannot pronounce that, sorry. And I've always been impressed with his clean, get aggressive boxing style. Hey, he looked good. You know what I mean? So shout out to him. He did his thing. I thought he gave Butaev all he could handle. Butaev had no answers. If Butaev was waiting for him to get tired or wear him down, it just wasn't going to happen.
The thing that sucks, though, is it would be so much nicer for this moment if everybody watching that exact event wasn't already very aware of the fact that they were calling it a 4-belt division and very, very much keeping Terrence Crawford a part of that mix at the very end. So it's like when you watch that fight and you're a casual fan and you're like, first champ from Lithuania, WBA champion, what? Like, you're fucking confused. You're fucking confused. You know what I'm saying? So that doesn't help. Listen, if you're watching the Super Bowl and you don't watch football, and then all of a sudden they're saying, well, the Patriots are the Super Bowl champions, but the Browns are the Super Bowl regular champ. Like, you would be like, this is the dumbest shit I've ever seen. Like, you know what I mean? So that kind of threw me off.
But they pick and choose, though.
I get it. Dude, you're right. I'm just going to leave it there. You're right. It's just frustrating as shit. Like, the worst thing you can be for your blood pressure in this world is a wrestling and boxing fan. It's the worst thing you can do because the sports you love are stupid as shit a lot of times. But that's the only point I just want to make.
Absolutely. Well, we'll see where it goes. I thought the fight should have been the co-main event of the night. It made sense. They had these two guys fight when the arena was empty. Like, that made no sense.
Good point.
What, for Gamboa against Cruz? For that? What are we doing? I don't, because none of the people in Dallas were like, hey, I got to get there early because Stanionis is going to fight Butaev. I got to get there now. Like, nobody was saying that, but they're showing up, though, right? 2-3 fights prior, that's when they're showing up. That's when they should have put it there, okay? Hey, shout out to Booker T, by the way, who was over there in Dallas. You know what I mean? A bunch of people took pictures of him and stuff. You know?
Oh, you was
Doing
at
his
the
thing.
fight?
That's what's up.
Booker T?
Yeah, the five-time WCW champion.
That's
You know
right.
what I mean? Like I'm just saying.
Show
So-
respect.
Oh yeah, he is from there too.
Yeah, that's why I think you. Yeah, no, you're right. He had taken pictures too at the very beginning of fight. Well, not the very beginning of fight week, but like I think after the weigh-ins or something like that. A lot of pictures on IG and especially Twitter started popping up. So he enjoyed himself.
Hey, Boxing Dev, were you impressed with Stanionis?
So I didn't watch that fight.
Okay.
I couldn't watch it. Sorry.
It's all right. It's all right. Well, look, Stanionis did his thing. I don't know where that. Like, here's a problem with a regular WBA belt. The guys that win it aren't even considered. They're not. It's not like a lock. Like you're the fifth best. Like it's not. You know what I mean? Like it's not even a lock. You're like top 10 when you're a regular champion. Like it's crazy. It is the real like. You know what it is? Remember the television title in WCW?
That was
Like
the best title,
But
the workers' title.
yeah, but that's what the WBA like regular is. It's like the TV
good
title.
Oh, fuck! That's a really good metaphor. I mean, like people that don't get it.
They even had it on regular TV. Like it's not pay per view. It's like
Exactly.
TV.
Wow, that's dude. All right, I'm gonna jack that now. I'm gonna pretend like that
That's
was
right.
my idea.
Hey, I'm just saying. You know what I mean, now, do any of you have any opinion about the Crawley Josito Lopez fight? Really quick, you guys want to add anything about that? Real quick.
I think Josecito Lopez has reached the stage of his career where he's, a great ticket to a B-side that you're probably going to see lose. Like he's a guy who's going to be able to up your commercial credit, and possibly if you're one of these guys who's very fancy and slick, and a lot of people criticize your ability to take a punch or get in a dogfight, he's somebody who can maybe test it out of you without having to worry about like crazy punching coming back. But yeah, he's not a guy I want to see in big fights anymore. I don't even know if he was ever good enough to like be in really big fights like he was. I mean, he had one fight that he won that earned him a position, to get into this. And that was like, that's been his entire career, really, if you think about it. But
Yeah. I just get Caleb Plant vibes from Crawley.
that's interesting. In what way?
It's how I feel. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't see the power there, but he could box. You know what I mean? Like.
Man, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't see shit. Look, no disrespect. I just don't see him as shit in that division.
Damn.
And he fucking beat up Josecito Lopez, who pretty much lost the fire. And once you lose the fire, your ass need to be up out the damn ring. All right. And no power. I mean, you didn't really look all that impressive. I mean, yeah, you won, but are you going to do that to someone who's not going to let up on the pressure, who can take your punch? Because obviously you can't punch. And you can't, I mean, and his boxing skills it's really more adequate at best. It's not really exceptional, I don't see nothing exceptional with this guy. So I believe that I just see him just being a middle of the pack gatekeeper at this point.
I gotcha. Well, we'll see where Crawley goes from there, guys. You guys are tuning in to HCP Aftermath. See right there to the right? That's Jermall Charlo. And he was talking some mad shit at the fights to Benavidez' dad. Okay? Now, I remember I did a show a couple weeks ago. I did a show. And Get the Smoke was on my panel, and he's like, "Oh, come on, that was over a year ago. It was over a year ago. Benavidez is to get over it. Charlo ain't even talking about him no more. Well, why is he talking to a little guy, a little itty bitty little Jermall? He's being a bully. He's making him come up and weight. Why does he do that? Like, I think Benavidez should worry about the guys in his weight class. Charlo ain't even talking about him no more. Jermall Charlo started talking shit to Jose Benavidez Sr., an old man smaller than him, calling him all types of B words and P words and all that shit. You motherfucking B and P and all that. The whole alphabet. Everything you could think of. Just talking all this smack, dude. And then it's not the first time Jermall Charlo does it. He gets drunk. He gets deliberate. I don't even know if he was. I don't know if he was drunk in this case, but I hope he was at least for his own sake. What is going on, Brian? Talk to us. What's going on? Why is he talking shit? Does he want to fight him or what?
Well, you know, the weird thing is, because I try to look at it from all angles, right? Because I've heard there were several people, like several channels that were talking about it. So I looked at it from all standpoints. From what I was looking at with Benavidez as he was walking out of the arena, according to him, the dude approached his father. All right. And that's where the issue came about. And I guess their team got into it. And then
Jermall's father, you mean?
No, Benavidez's father. So Jermall Charlo, according to what Benavidez said, is that he approached his father, and that's where the issue came in. And of course they all, you saw that whole little the little incident where their teams in front of each other. Then you have 50 fucking rows of people in front of the teams. Then you have the security on the side. I mean, I'm looking at it and I was like, man, this is some of the most cowardly shit that I could see. And I'm speaking on the situation with Jermall Charlo, because it's like, well, all that woofing and you're still barking while there's people in front of you. All right. Now, to me, both of them guys barking back doesn't mean a damn thing, in my opinion. But if this shit is going to happen, then there needs to be a fight that happens off of this. All right. And my thing is, on the aspect of Charlo, you were called out about this guy last year, and you made statements. Well, he's too big or certain thing. He's made those little comments last year, basically those little duck comments. From my standpoint, then you was questioning on the Mike Tyson podcast, and your energy sound very, 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 very scared. All right, you didn't even really want to address the man, but now to get your manhood, so to speak, back, because you embarrass yourself through your own words and through Mike Tyson podcast, you want to turn up, but then you it's not that you went to the guy up in his face, you went to his father, which provoked the man to get to that point, man.
Look, Kate, here's my problem, bro. When the dude was filming him, like it's a regular fan, smacked the camera out of his face. You know what I mean? But then when it comes to like when Benavidez tells him, you're talking a lot of shit, dude. How about we fight? No. I mean, I don't even know how big you are. I mean, for all I know, you're like a cruiserweight on fight night. Like that's some weird energy right there. I'm sorry. I don't want to hear itty bitty little Charlo. That dude's a big motherfucker. Okay, you rehydrate, motherfucker. Okay. You were asked about this guy. You said I could knock him out, is what you said. I would knock him out, you said. You weren't worried about how big he is then. When you say he ain't nothing, you're not worried about how big he is then. When Tyson tells you, hey, well, why do you fight this dude? Fight the Mexican monster. Why'd you do that? Huh? Get the ring with him. No, he doesn't bring anything to the table. This is stupid. All right? This is some dumbass shit. But Mario, talk to us, brother. What did you get to watch those videos and the commotion and all that? What did you make of it?
Yeah, I saw him on social media. I really didn't think much of it. And I feel like Boxing Historian kind of nailed it. Like this year, right? The things that have happened in a 3-month time span with Charlo have really painted him in a bad picture, especially with the majority of boxing fans, because the majority of boxing fans, you know, they don't look at it from the fighter's perspective. Like if I try to, like, if I was a lawyer for them, right? Let's say I'm representing all the boxers in the world. I'm going to say, well, you know, Jermall is a businessman. He's the CEO of Jermall Charlo. So he's looking out for his brand. So he wants to fight the guys that make sense financially, right? But don't incur a lot of risk, because that's what all the businesses in the world do. You know, Elon Musk isn't out here like, hey, let's see what we could do with Tesla and see if it fucking works or not. No, they're out here, you know, doing things that are going to help their bottom line. Yeah. But you can't see Jermall Charlo's stock on the NASDAQ, right? You can't get a reading on the Dow Jones about how his stock is. His stock is only really truly represented on paper from BoxRec. What does his record look like? And that's the unfortunate aspect of boxing. So boxing fans are sitting here like, well, this is a sport at the end of the day. And, you know, the Cowboys can't pick who they're going to play. If they're going to be the champions of the world, they have to beat the best in the world. If the Lakers are going to be the champ or even get to the playoffs, they have to beat the best in the world. Okay. That's the way this works. So as fans, it's frustrating to see Maul on this campaign where he's trying to rewrite the way that boxing fans look at the sport. It's not going to work. And also the biggest problem about this, it's like, we already gave you the pass on Andrade. And I'm not saying that he ducked Andrade. I'm not saying that that was his fault. Nothing like that. I mean, I have my opinions, but that's not the point I'm trying to make. So I'm going to avoid that. But it's like everywhere you turn, all there are fights that Maul's not getting or not taking. And it's like, if you're trying to get what's best for business, then you have to understand that there's already there's already like a landscape for it, right? There's already a blueprint, and you fall nothing near the likes of Mayweather, De La Hoya, Pacquiao, even Canelo. You are nowhere in that spectrum. Nobody knows you except for being a like, who's he beat? And listen, as boxing fans, we know, right? We know who he's beat. We know how much credit to give him and not give him, but the casual fans don't. They don't recognize a single fucking name on his resume. And until that changes, the energy cannot change for Maul. It cannot. And unfortunately, instead of him putting his foot down and saying, you know what, I'm going to fucking fight somebody, I don't give a shit, I'm going to show him the best in the world, he's instead trying to use other mediums and other platforms to convince us that we're wrong, that if we were in his shoes, we'd be doing the same thing. Maybe that's true or maybe it's not. But at the end of the day, I get to spend my money where I want. And if you're already telling me you're not interested in fighting the best that we consider, then it ain't worth my fucking money.
Look, like all I know is this, right? We'll get Calix in here, but this is what I'll say about this whole situation, okay? You can act tough against a fan asking you about Canelo, okay, while you're walking somewhere, okay? And smack the camera out of his face. You can't go up to Benavidez' dad and call him all type of B words and P words and all this other shit, right? And then when Benavidez said, yo, we're going to fight at what? No, I don't know. I think you're too big. You're a cruiserweight on fight night. You need to be tested. You need to be vaccinated. You're too young. You're only 25. Like all of a sudden, all these requirements to, like, you fought Molina. Like, are you kidding me? This dude wakes up in like in sweat, like sweating, cold sweats, Molina, yeah, like he wakes up like in the middle of the night and shit, like having nightmares. Okay, I mean that dude he's dreaming about Benavidez, bro. I'm convinced. This like Benavidez lives in his head. Like if he could go back in time, he would take out He would not say, I would knock that motherfucker out, because that's what he said, right? I'd have a problem when he said it, but now you're backtracking, and now he's too big for you, right? But you're saying you would move up to fight Canelo, though. But you don't move up to fight Benavidez? What's up with that? Something's not right here. I'm just saying. Calix, what's up, brother? How's it going?
It's good. Good. It's good to be on here with y'all. Great boxing minds here.
Charlo was like, "Yo, I'll duke it out with your dad, bro. What's up, what's up, senior?"
Oh shit!
I don't have a
Well,
problem
like if
with
they weren't holding him back, right? Because he was being held back. Like, what are we gonna do to senior, like Charlo?
Yeah, look, I'm not gonna act like one of those pinky up people, elitists that has a problem with this stuff. I'm not above it. I love the ringside
I have
stuff.
a problem
I
with
love the altercations.
hypocrisy.
I love the WWE. The more WWE stuff we get pre-fight and post-fight, the better. But when 154 Charlo does it, you believe it, right? You know it's going to be backed up with action. When 160 Charlo does it, what do the youngsters call it now? Cap. You know it's cap, right? There's not going to be actions behind it. So that's the issue that I have with it. It's like when Malignaggi used to tell guys he's going to kill him in the ring. You were like, yeah, okay.
I'm gonna knock you out, man. I'm gonna knock you out. Like okay.
There are
Or
certain
Angel
guys
Garcia.
it's believable, and there are other guys you know it's not going to be backed up with action. So that's the issue I have with it. But we know the Charlos have a track record of doing this stuff ringside, and once again, I have no issue with 154 Charlo doing it because there's intentions behind it. But when 160 Charlo does it, not so much. So I'd love to see Charlo Benavidez. I'd love to see them in the mix and mixing it up with Caleb Plant as well. I'd love to see Boo Boo Andre and all these guys mixing it up with each other. But when 160 Charlo says this stuff ringside, you really don't believe it.
Yo, but why did you go look for David though? Is what I'm asking. Like, why is he looking for the dad? That's that's what looks weak about it, right?
Yeah.
And David he's not Santa Cruz. He's saying like, "Yo, I'm gonna beat you up, motherfucker, when I see you." And I believe David. I don't get this like, I don't believe him. Like, no, I believe him. It's a hypocrisy. Like, he acts tougher with certain dudes, you know. And he won't even act tough with a guy like, bro. Like, what made Rocky 3 work is that Clubber Lang talked shit to Rocky. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, he told Mickey, "Shut up, you old man." Like, yeah, of course he did that, right? Yeah, did he tell Adrian hey woman, we will see my apartment? You know what I mean? I show with a real man. But I like how like a number one contender like still had an apartment. By the way, that's crazy. But he was still like he was calling out Rocky. Like he wanted to fight Rocky. That's why he did all that. Like, "Yo, Rocky, you're scared. You don't want to fight me. Stop avoiding me. Fight me, chump." Whatever it is, like this, like he does. Like they ask him about Canelo. No, Canelo, he's good. You know, he can fight whoever he wants. You know, Canelo's a good guy. You know, I think he's great. Like what? No, like, we know Canelo's good, but that's not what you're supposed to say. You're not supposed to be a fan of Canelo. Like, let us do that. Like, you're supposed to be calling the guy out. You know what I mean? Mario, am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong. I will say though, like, look at this scenario, right? You brought up Rocky 3, and it's like Jermall wants to be Rocky, but nobody really gives a shit about him. And I'm not saying that we don't want to see him in fights. I'm not saying that we don't think he's a great fighter. I personally think he's a very good fighter. I just think that he sees himself as more than he is in boxing. And it's not to say that he doesn't have value. He does. But they called out Rocky because he was the man, you know? Now, in that movie, we found out he was the man because, you know, his team was putting him in front of bums for like a year. But it doesn't matter. Like, he was the man. Like, Ball wants to be the other guy. He wants to be the Rocky. He doesn't want to Clubber Lang people. He doesn't want to make it seem like a guy in David Benavidez who Maul had what, 4 or 5 years of fighting on TV before David Benavidez was, you know, anything at all. And that head start. And now people are like saying, "Oh, you can't beat David Benavidez." You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's a lot of raw emotion. I think it's mostly ego is what it is, you know, for Maul. That said, though, I 100% agree with you. Like, he, at this point, it's just getting too late. And especially because now Mel is doing what he's doing, fighting a guy that everybody thinks is dangerous for the second time, that really gets him no commercial value whatsoever. I mean, that's all risk. and not as much reward. I mean, yeah, I know all the belts are on the line, but if this guy's already moving up to middleweight, why does he give a fuck, right? Ultimately, these guys are on two separate paths, despite the fact that most fans can't tell them apart.
I mean, that's the truth. You know what I mean? So I think Troy was asking me to do Clubber Lang in Spanish. We've already had a Spanish Clubber Lang. He already existed.
Oh, yeah,
Right?
there you
Tuviera que venga conmigo en el apartamento. Wow. But we already had a Spanish Clubber Lang. You know what I mean? Like, he
That's a good point.
He fought a Clubber Lang too. Like remember the time Clubber Lang? Hey, stop trying to knock him out with every punch. But that's Ricardo Mayorga. Hit that like button, guys. Absolutely. All I want to say is this, okay? It's time that Jermall Charlo, like, if he wants to be taken serious, he needs to call out the right guys. He needs to, if he's going to approach dudes, approach the right guys. Like, you know what I mean? And like, it's looking weak out here, in my opinion. I'm not mad. I'm not like virtual signaling. I'm not angry that he did it. I'm just saying you're not doing it to the right people. All right? That's all I'm saying. But it's not like Benavidez wasn't there. David was there. Like, he was at Dallas Stadium.
Yeah, I saw him.
So it's whatever. And if you're not going to fight David, then what's the point of all this? The way you're doing it? Like, you're going to gas people up for no reason. Like, oh, imagine they fight, bro. Like, well, they're not going to fight.
Well, my closing thoughts on it's like, well, all this tough talk of what you're going to do and what you're alleging you're going to do.
What you going to do, brother?
And, I always find it cowardly that I'm going to come with my entourage, go to the father and not go to the guy that I want to actually fight initially. Like, what kind of shit is that? You know what I'm saying? Like, to me, it just shows cowardice, man. And I don't think he really want to fight. To me, it just was him getting back his manhood that he destroyed through his own verbiage.
Mm-hmm. 100%. Shout out to HLD in the building, Major Key in the building. For those that whenever you guys get a chance, make sure you check out my interview with Olympic hopeful Kayla Gomez out of El Paso, Texas. I think she's going to make the Olympics, and I think she has a shot to medal. So make sure you guys check that out. Only 18 years old. She's really talented. So make sure you guys check that out after the roundtable for sure. Also, speaking after the roundtable, check out the Shoe Shine. Okay, they will be live as well. So make sure you check them out after this roundtable aftermath. Spence Ugas. Great fight. Well, actually, before we get to that, I want to get this one out of the way. The human piñata, Isaac Cruz versus poor Gamboa. What have they done to Gamboa? What happened to El Ciclón? Like what happened? Like I just like I remember like this guy. You said his name at featherweight. Like dudes were like, whoa. Like Juanma was like, Bob, we could build this fight up. If we keep fighting common opponents instead. You know what I mean? Like this dude was that. I remember there was a time I would watch Gamboa fight out that this guy's a beast. This guy's a fucking killer in there. And then he signed with 50 Cent. And I don't know what the fuck. 50 Cent, like, put him in there with Crawford, like a lightweight. Like, and it was over, like, after that. Right? But I know what we're going to do. We're going to fight Crawford. Like 2 weight classes above your own. Like, okay. Look good for 4 rounds, and we all know what happened after that. Right? And I do think that has a big part of what happened to Gamboa. Right? But anyway, this was the easiest fight to call all year for me. Like, when you heard Gamboa ain't nobody here was surprised. None of you went, oh my God, he's hurt. Like, ain't nobody do that. I was like, yeah. So it was only a matter of time. It was a thorough beating. So I'm not asking for a breakdown, but I'm just going to I know I'm not in the business of telling fighters what to do either, but I'm just going to flat out ask you guys. Should Gamboa retire? Calix.
Yes.
Should they make him retire?
Look, I'm not in the business of telling people what they should do with their career, but I mean, it's pretty obvious as a fan.
It's a
he has
human
nothing left,
piñata,
right?
bro.
I said during the fight, I mean, I tweeted it out. His corner must hate him because what did he hit the canvas 6 times? I think he hit it 6 times, right? And they had, I think before the fight started, they were like, this guy's hit the canvas 14 times, I think it was. And then they just kept counting. It was 15, then 16, then 17. And they were like, oh, he's 10-3 in fights where he hit the canvas. He's about to be 10-4 in fights where he hit the canvas. And I think he hit the canvas 6 times. But did they not own a white towel in Gamboa's corner? Throw it, man. Like, what else did they need to see? It was obvious from the jump that he had no legs, and then he's just getting caught. And every time he gets caught, he bounces right back up. That's the scary part. Like, he just hops right back up. So it's tough for the referee. It's tough for the ring doctor because this guy just keeps popping back up. So you have to have a corner behind you that's going to look out for your best interest. And apparently he does not have that because he's still fighting. Guys like Isaac Cruz at 40 plus years old. He says he's 40. He's likely older than that. And he's hitting the canvas 5-6 times, and they keep pushing him out there for the next round, and they're giving him instructions like he has a shot of winning the fight. So, yes, I would like to see Gamboa retire.
I'm going to say they need to make him retire. I'm done. Did you see like when they stopped it? He looked heartbroken. He almost looked like, come on, it's not like that. Like, you know, the ref's like, that's it, bro. I'm stopping this shit. Like, he literally looked like, yo, if I'm taking a beating, let me. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's how he looked. Like, he was content, like, just being a punching bag, you know? And I get it. Like, he's been a boxer his whole life, but, like, dude, Mario, should he call it a day? Like, well, that's the obvious question. Should they make him call it a day?
No, not at all. Nobody should. No, but listen, first of all, it's America. Like, if somebody wants to go out there and get their ass beat every time, that's their own decision. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think anybody should force anybody to do anything. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that. I mean, look, you want to get into
Rocky speech,
but if you want to get into what's morally right and what's morally wrong, then we're having a different conversation because we're talking about boxing. You know what I'm saying? That's not morally right.
I'm going to let you finish, but really, like, it's America. Let him get his ass whooped.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, what if somebody said, you know what, D, I don't think you're physically fit to do your job anymore, but your boss doesn't think so. The people that pay you don't think so. Whatever commission or whatever licensing is looking over your business doesn't think so. But some random people at home think that you shouldn't get paid to do what you do because they don't think you're capable of it. Like, let's be real. There's people out there that Gamboa could beat. None that we care about. You know what I mean? Like, none we're going to watch. But there are some fighters out there that are professionals that he could beat. He is done at the top level. Should he retire? Again, I feel like you and I feel like Callie. I don't think, like, I'm not in the business telling people what to do, but there is an avenue for him. Cuban fighters are being allowed to turn professional. He could start training. He has an in with, that country. Like, he could start his own Cuban club or whatever the fuck he wants to do. But at this point, Cuban fighters are being given the ability to turn pro. Now I don't know what his status is, you know what I mean, after defecting and stuff, but ultimately I'm sure they would trust him more than a lot of other, nationalities that would try to foster a fight gym with these guys that essentially going to turn pro in the next year or two. So there is other things for him to do. So I think he should think about it, at least thinking about making that transfer over to that. And if he wants to take a fight with like Amir Khan or somebody past their age in a few years, whatever the fuck he wants to do, that's fine. And that's what I'm saying. Like, we shouldn't be able to force him to retire.
Like, you could just buy one of these piñatas and have the boxers beat them up. Just get this one for $24.99. You know what I mean? Like, they don't got to keep doing this shit to Gamboa. That's all I'm saying. Like, I'll concede this. He needs, like, any commission that approves him to fight, any top-level fighter should be ashamed of themselves at this point, right? Yes, he should step down in competition at the very least, right? But I'm telling you right now, man, like I got sick feelings in my stomach when I was watching Mal Dictator still fight, when he was slurring his words. You know what I mean? At some point, you got to tell a guy that's it, because he's turning into this. He's gone from a ciclón to la piñata. Like he's just become the residential piñata for the guys that the promoter want to showcase to beat up. That's why they put Gamboa in the ring. You think PBC said, you know what, we need to put Cruz in a really competitive fight. You know what, Gamboa, yeah, put him in the ring. No, like they wanted to build up his confidence. They wanted to, that's what Gamboa was in there for. You know? I'm just saying, what do you think, H?
Yeah, well, I haven't heard that name in a long time. A piñata. Remind me of a guy who used to give up home runs, and they used to call him Joel Piñata for the Mariners, because he used to give up all kinds of hits every time he stepped on the mound. So, yeah, I mean, man, you know, Gamboa was he was like a Cuban Tasmanian devil, man. Like, I mean, he was explosive, powerful, fast, you know, and when he get knocked down, he would get back up and come at you and stop you. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was amazing at 126. And you know what I think, when you chronicleize what you were saying, Styles, about him signing with 50 Cent and him fighting Terrence Crawford, that spelled the end of his great little run that he had, unfortunately. And you know, I mean, Tank Davis knocks you out. Devin Haney, you know, tees off on you, and you know, I mean, if you can't knock out you know, Gamboa, who's been knocked down, I guess what is it now, 25 times at this point. You know, I don't know what kind of power you have. You know, you get destroyed by a monster like Tank, and then, you know, a bully, a little short bull, like what's old kid's name, Isaac Cruz, man. You know, and I like the little midget, by the way. But you know, he's banging you up and beating you up, and it was
he's not fighting a weight class with like 6'2" dudes either. You know what I mean? Like,
that's true. But I mean, the referee,
like, I'm a midget compared to Cali. It is what it is, bro. You know what I mean? It depends who you hang around with.
That's true. That's true. But he gets beat up and whatnot, and the referee extended the fight, and his corner obviously must hate his ass, because it was to the point where this dude was doing the stanky leg and shit. You understand? And it's like, damn, bro. You know, this guy needs to go ahead and retire now. If this is the way he needs to feed his family, feed himself, and take care of himself by getting his ass whooped, then I mean, hey, all power to him. You know, but I mean, I don't want to see the guy, you know, like Meldred Taylor or some of these other guys, man.
Do you remember that song Kung Fu Fighting?
Yeah.
Only this was like about Gamboa, like, he's still fighting. You know, like, he used to be fast as lightning, but not no more, not no more. You know, all I know is this: Gamboa, let it go. It's like, I think Gamboa's career and LeBron James's hairline have something in common. You know what I mean? Like, they gotta let it go. You know, just let it go. Like, you know what I mean? I'm just saying. All right. Somebody said they're gonna make a Gamboa piñata.
By the way, I like Gamboa's. I like the perm. I like the Little Richard look. I like what he's going with there.
What? Are you serious? I wasn't gonna comment on it, but yo, my man looked nuts.
I like it, but it's the weirdest thing with Gamboa. I've never seen a guy get knocked down so many times and pop back up. It's weird because he's so chinny, but you would think a guy that chinny would have trouble getting back up, but every single time it's just like, it's like Weekend at Bernie's.
It's like he's chinny with good punch resistance.
Boom. Boom. Like you've seen Weekend at Bernie's too, right? As soon as he hears the music, it's boom. And that's Gamboa. Like as soon as he hits the canvas, he pops right back up every single time. That's what makes it's scary. But I understand where Mario is coming from. Like it's when we're talking about, it's two very different things. Should a guy retire and should he be forced to retire are two very different things. And shouldn't he be forced to retire is a slippery slope.
Like Holyfield should be forced to retire, right?
Well, I mean, he is retired.
He's just fine. Like the dude, like couldn't even hit mitts. He was fighting.
Exhibition
Wait.
match though.
Oh, that's right. Dude, I forgot all about that. See, that's what I'm saying. It's like
dude,
if I don't gotta pay
does
for
the
it,
body
do what
know
you
it's an
wanna do.
exhibition when you're getting hit though? Like, it's an
No,
exhibition.
that's a great point. That's a great point.
But here's the thing, D-Style. Certain guys can't be saved from themselves. Like that guy, Holyfield is likely in the gym sparring constantly. And
Mhm.
a lot of people will say that sparring may be more dangerous than actually fighting in a fight. So
There's
what
a
I'm
lot of
saying
people thinking that.
Yeah, so what I'm saying is if this guy's going to be in the gym anyway, maybe he can't be saved from himself and maybe you just got to let the guy fight. I don't know, man. It's more complex than you making it out to be. Do I think Gamboa should retire? Yes. But should he be forced? I don't know.
Yeah, it's like one of those things where it's like the answer is simple in terms of like, because it's a simple question. Is he elite? No, he's not elite anymore. Is he going to ever likely beat anybody that's like C plus, B minus caliber? I don't think so. You know what I'm saying? At the same time, if you took his division, is he in the top 100? For sure. Definitely. You know what I mean? There are dudes out there like 1 in 12. And so I don't know. It's like look, this is what shouldn't be forced. Me or anybody like me that doesn't want to pay for his shit to have to pay for his shit. Like we shouldn't be forced to watch it. Like he should no longer grace PBC undercards that are televised. He should no longer grace any sort of TV or, you know what I'm saying? Like that should be stopped. And once that's stopped, then his incentive to keep taking this punishment stops. So is it his responsibility to stop him from continuing to get paid for something he's no longer really that great at? Or is it the responsibility of these promoters who are trying to milk out that last little bit of, for all the fans that are still like, man, I remember when I wanted Gamboa Wanma. It's like those, you know what I'm saying? Like that's what you're trying to do. You're trying to get that nostalgia pop. And it's like, oh, we got Gamboa.
You know what they should take? Like, once you're no longer good, they should take your nickname. You're
now
no
that's
longer
a law I could get behind.
Ciclón de Guantánamo. No more. You're not just Gamboa. You know what I mean? We should strip guys of their nickname when they're no longer good and stuff.
Yeah, I like that idea.
That's what I think. What do you think, Alex? Should we strip them? Give me that nickname. You can't use it no more. Yeah. That way, when if he keeps getting beat, we're like, yeah, you beat Gamboa, but you didn't beat it Ciclón, though. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's a difference. Like, I'm just saying, okay? It's like you beat Roy Jones Jr., you didn't beat RJ. Which, by the way, I never understood. Like it's really quick. Roy Jones claims he had like an alter ego that was really, really dangerous, and you only used them once, right? Why didn't you use them when you were going to knock the fuck out later part of your career? Like, what the hell's going on? Like, what's going on? Oh, RJ. Even I was scared of RJ. Like come on, stop. Okay. Kelly's such a big fan of Roy, he believes him. Like, oh yeah, totally. RJ's undefeated.
I had his album.
Roy's career ended after the Ruiz fight, in my view.
Oh, he got the Men in Black treatment after that. You don't remember nothing else. You don't remember nothing. You know what I mean?
Roy finished undefeated heavyweight champ.
Oh, man.
In the Calix household.
Really quick, side question for you guys, but if Roy Jones retires after the Ruiz fight, okay, where does history put him right now? Is he in a conversation with everybody, whether we like it or not? How would the public see him? Calix.
Yes. He's
up there,
undefeated, right? Moved up, finished as heavyweight champion. Yes. He's up
Mario?
there.
Yeah, 100% for sure.
Damn. BH?
Well, I have him in my top 30 right now. He would have been top 10 had he would have not took that damn fight with Tarver and not have fluctuated back down to the weight.
Hey, but so we subtract from dudes, like once they accomplish something.
Yes.
We subtract from them.
You know why?
Like, what if Tom Brady plays so he's like 80 and like keeps losing for the rest of his NFL career? Do we pretend that his run never happened?
I mean, you know what? But you know what, D-Style? Hopkins, look at what Hopkins did after 40. So we continue to add to his legacy. Yeah. So his trajectory goes up and Roy's goes down. What I wanted to ask the boxing historian is, do you have B-Hop ranked higher all time than Roy? Because that's an interesting conversation.
Top 20. I mean,
See,
I would
and
say
if Roy finishes after the Reeves fight, there's no way you can rank B-Hop above Roy. That's what I'm saying.
Nah, he would have to be top 10 or at least cracking the top 10 somewhere.
Yeah.
Man.
No, that's a good point. It's like, it's like, how much do you do before you hit that slide, right? Like, look at like Michael Jordan's probably like the best example of this. It's like Michael Jordan became the most famous, greatest basketball player of all time, retired, came back, and was like less than mediocre most of the time, right? Like, does that hinder his like what he did or how he did it before? You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's like you use that gauge. What like Roy did, it was amazing up until the Ruiz fight, but unfortunately he kept fighting. You know what I mean? And so it's like it all adds to that. Like when you break down these runs, that's why it gets a little difficult.
You know what Gates is right? It's the knockout of Tarver, because if he retires after the Ruiz fight, ain't nobody would believe Tarver would have knocked him out. No, you couldn't convince me.
Man, that's a great
Everybody
point.
would be like, what do you mean Tarver would have knocked him? I said, go sit down. Like, what are you talking about?
And one last point is the decline was so ugly, is what it was. He goes to Australia and get knocked and continues
that was
to
a
get
cliff.
knocked out.
Remember,
But
like
that's the difference
Kaufman talked about
between
the cliff.
But that's the difference between the Roy comparison to Jordan. Is Jordan went to the Wizards and he's still an all-star. Like, he's still an all-star. He's still getting 20
average 21. Yeah.
I think he's
Oh, you're right. That's a good point.
So Jordan is still one of the best 20 players in the sport.
Roy went to the bench.
100%.
Roy went boom, like just a roller coaster drop.
Like it was a cliff. It was so like, remember Max Kellerman's cliff about Brady? Like that, but it was for Roy Jones. Went straight down, never recovered. And I do believe, by the way, I do think going up to heavyweight, gaining that muscle, then coming back down definitely affected him. Mm-hmm. I don't give a shit what anybody says. Like that's what I believe, right? Like I know, don't make excuses, but that's what I believe. Like
it had to.
It is what it is. Like, he should have taken the Tyson fight. You're gonna get knocked out anyway. Might as well be Tyson. You know, I'm just saying.
They almost got it done, bro.
Yeah,
that should have happened, man.
But he won. Like you guys know he won that exhibition fight now. Like like he beat up old man Tyson. In my opinion. I mean, Tyson broke all the rules. Tyson was fighting. It was a real fight.
Oh, Mike beat him though, bro. Mike beat him.
I scored it for Roy. That's fine. I must have forgot. Anyway, Spence versus Ugas. Shout out to Mark Nash, by the way. Remy, Man in Water, Stephen, the GOAT, Lee Groves, all you guys, man. Thank you for being here. Spence versus Ugas. Let me start off with this one really quick. I was watching that fight. I like midway through that fight, I'm like, you gotta be fucking shitting me. Like, my breakdown was like the opposite. Like, everything I said Ugas was gonna do, and Spence wasn't gonna see anything because of the high guard, and he was gonna be stepping around Spence, and like all these things I said Ugas was gonna do, Spence did it, right? And I kept talking about the eye. Oh, the eye. It's like he fucked up his eye just so he could shut up about the eye. You know what I mean? Like, oh, you guys think, you guys were right. An eye was going to get fucked up. It just wasn't mine. Okay? And I think it was the 7th when he hurt the eye and it started getting worse, like immediately started escalating. I do want to say, though, those first 4 rounds was some very, very high level boxing. Okay? That was some high-level, skillful shit in the first 4 rounds. I thought Spence had a really good 5th round. It looked like he was taking over. But there was a hiccup, which we'll talk about in the 6th round, right? And then after that, it was all Spence, right? And I got to say, man, this is the best. It's including the Cal Brook fight. This is the best I've ever seen. Mm-hmm. Errol Spence. I never like I knew he could win. Like I didn't count him out or nothing. But I thought like this Spence was gone. Like that part of him was gone after that car crash, you know? But it's not. It's like he came back stronger. The dude's like a Super Saiyan. He just gets stronger after he gets hurt. You know what I mean? He took a senso bean and then he's got better, right? Now there's still questions, obviously, but they weren't answered as far as like I had questions, I should say. Spence he answered them in flying colors. Like I didn't think he was still that good, and he's even better than I've ever seen him. That's just my opinion. But boxing historian, what you make of the fight, brother?
Very entertaining fight. You know, very good display and comeback by Errol Spence. Now, I say that up to that 5th round, I had it dead even. I thought that first round went to Ugas. Of course, it's always a filling out round. A lot of times in the first round, second round, Errol Spence. You saw what both guys were trying to do. Of course, in the 5th round or 5th round, Errol Spence started to take control with his jab and really started targeting the body. Also, with the 6th round, he ended up knocking him down. All right, he ended up rocking him with that shot where his mouthpiece fell out. Wasn't paying attention, wasn't protecting himself, possibly because of the referee, and then he got hit with the right hand. He got rocked. And there was a couple points in the fight where Ugas had his moments. He had his moments in terms of landing that right hand. I felt that he was very reluctant, and I had flashbacks because I felt the same way when I was watching Lara versus Canelo years ago as to why he wasn't going for those openings, especially when he made Spence miss horribly. And he was doing very well, and he had his opportunities, and he did hurt Spence about 3 or 4 times in the fight. But Spence, you know, as a warrior that he is, came back, took the fight to him, smothered his offense, forced the fight on the inside, and obviously those body punches accumulated to the point where he had to shell up, and Spence ultimately got the stoppage in the 10th round and show a lot of grit, a lot of toughness, and messed up his eye when all the questions, which deservedly so, 17-month layoff, the retina tear prior to the Pacquiao fight, and all those things accumulative. These things happen, and he still was able to pull out a very impressive victory. So hats off to him.
All right. Yo, what's going on, Carcino? How's it going, brother?
Oh, it's going pretty good. Glad to be here.
All right, brother. Hey, pull no punches. Give us your real, authentic, however you feel about it. The floor is yours. What you think of the fight?
Well, it's fixed. I think Ugas got the bag. You see them glasses he had on before he came to the ring. He already got paid. I mean, his corner gave him no advice. They kept asking, "You having fun? Hey, everything's going great. Yeah, where you going to eat after this?" They really didn't have any instructions to give this man throughout the entire fight.
You're cutting off a little bit.
Are you not going to tell this man to stop putting your hands in front of your face and just stand there?
Hey, brother, because you're cutting off a little bit. You sound like a bumblebee.
Okay, I'm gonna try to come out and come back in.
Okay, let's do that. Yeah, I don't know what happened there, but I caught what he said. But we're gonna talk about it. Well, Carcino comes back. Mario, give us your thoughts real quick about the fight.
I thought it was awesome. I thought he did Spence looked so good. I agree with everything you said. That might have been the best version we've seen of Spence. I mean, the thing is this, right? Like Ugas didn't look bad either. I mean, yeah, he got the shit kicked out of him. But if we are right now living in a world where Errol Spence is better than he's ever been, there's a good chance that Ugas fought the best welterweight in the world that night. So it's like, to lose to a guy like Spence, it's like, that's not a big knock. You know what I mean? Like he lost to the best. It's like when guys used to lose to Floyd and then continue great careers like Cotto and Canelo. And, so I think that the fact that we saw the best version of Spence, it tells me two things, or at least one for sure. I don't think that fighters are as scared of each other as like a lot of fans try to make it seem. Like ducking isn't an actual thing that happens a whole lot. Not as much as people claim it does. But I do think that Errol Spence needed this type of victory. you could just hear it in his voice. Like before talking about Crawford, it was about 50-50 and weight classes and A side and who should take more or less. And then he puts on this incredible performance that he knew was undoubtedly a comeback's a weird word, but you know what I'm trying to say. It's undoubtable that Errol Spence is that guy that we always thought he could be, and maybe even more. And now it's like, I want Crawford next. I want him next. It's the fight that I want. It's the fight you all want. Like, no, bitch, it's the fight we've been wanting. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you could chill with that, like as if we just won it now because you won. Like, no, but he seems ready. It seems like he's one of those guys that just needed to prove it in the ring, and that's exactly what he did. Incredible performance. And here's the thing, as much as everybody wants to talk about Spence, I think we should talk about Ugas. He held his own for quite a few rounds. And I don't know what to make of that 6th round, or was it 5th or 6th? Where Spence got his mouthpiece knocked out, and then he says he heard time, and then Ugas threw. Like, I don't know. All I know is Lawrence Cole is a terrible referee. That's all I know. I've been covering this sport since 2012. I've covered 5 major championships that man has been a part of, and there isn't one of them that he didn't fuck up. This guy is what's wrong with Texas, boxing in Texas. He is so juiced into the commission. I don't know if any of you saw, but to go back, there's a really big, large, heavy-set Hispanic fellow who's sitting in the seat by the first judge in the main camera. Okay, so you go back and you look at the main camera. So you'll see the judge, and to the left is a heavier set fellow. He is the end-all be-all of the Texas Commission. Okay, that is the top dog. That is one of the best friends of Lawrence Cole's father. Okay, these guys are just the most shady type of people. It feels like in Texas. And I mean, I don't even want to talk about these stories. There are stories I could tell that it would be like, are you shitting me? Like, they gave this guy that kind of treatment, or didn't test this guy, or let this guy walk out the building without getting his piss test. Like, crazy shit that's happened. I don't know if this fight would have gone the same way with Lawrence Cole as a ref or not, in terms of the weirdness it happened, but it doesn't matter who was wearing the bow tie that night, guys. Spence was going to win, and he won in a big way. And I hope we get Crawford next.
All right, Carson, let's see if we can hear you now.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. Now, I was saying this fight was fixed, and I'm sitting there like, this is Joshua Kalati Pacquiao all over again. I said he already got the bag. I saw those shades Ugas had coming to the ring. I knew he was paid. I said, well, he got his money before the fight. His girlfriend, her jewelry was nice. She got on a new dress. I said, yep, they got paid. And it was, unfortunately, I'm watching it, and his corner gave him no advice whatsoever. They were like, are you having fun? Is it going great for you? Like, where are you going to dinner tonight? They really didn't seem to have any game plan for what was happening. But when the fight first started, as I'm watching the fight, Ugas is doing Ugas things. He's moving. He's taking a step back. He's actually throwing a pawing jab, but he's jabbing to the body. He's setting things up. He's going around Errol Spence's wild shots. And I don't know what anybody talking about when they said this is the best Errol's look. Errol looked terrible. He doesn't look terrible.
Come on.
I'm serious. He was basic.
He looked sharp, brother.
He looked great.
He was not good last night. His feet were all over the place. And I'm like, if anybody is Terrence Crawford, if another fighter is watching this, they're like licking their chops, wanting to get Errol Spence in the ring. He did not look good. It's that Ugas looked that bad. That's just what it really was. He really didn't look good. I mean, what did Errol Spence really have to do when the guy's doing this? If a guy is just standing there and you're just pounding on him, I mean, how can I say you look good? He was hurt about 3-4 times in that fight. I say Ugas was hurt when he got hit in the eye and broke his orbital bone. Other than that, Ugas was really just the power level. If you go back to the corner, you could hear Errol Spence complaining. Well, not complaining, but stating to Errol, his trainer, whatever, Brooks or whatever, about Ugas' strength. He tells him, don't worry about the strength. Okay? Because his strength was having an imposing will in the fight. I saw him like basically like, okay, you're not going to push me around, so you can't do that. Go ahead, D-Style. You wanted to say something? Go ahead.
No, I'm like going like this, like
Oh.
I guess Fight Doctor agrees with you. I want clarity though.
Uh-huh.
When you say it was fixed, right? Because fixed means Ugas, you know you're gonna lose this fight, right? So here's some money. You're gonna take a dive, pretty much.
Took a dive.
That's what you think happened?
Yep. He would not throw to. It's like he almost apologized for hitting the man in the head. As soon as he hit him in the head with the right hand, it was like, did I mess the money up? It was like, he's like, okay, I'm only gonna punch you in the body. You know, like
but
it was like that movie with Cuba Gooding Jr. where they was fighting like bare knuckle fights or whatever. I'm only gonna hit you in the body now. Okay, are you okay? All right, I'm gonna do this. Come on.
Listen, I respect real quick. I respect the opinion. I do. I think though that the world thought they were gonna see Spence circle and move and use distance and jab, and the fact that he went out and he was a lot more aggressive as the fight went. It was a different kind of Spence. I can't rock with the idea that Spence, who hurt probably the best opponent, maybe second best opponent he's ever been in the ring with, depending on, Porter and what you think about him and Ugas. It's really tough to say that that wasn't a great version of Spence because he did more damage than pretty much ever against one of the best opponents he's ever been in the ring with. And it's like when the best guys fight each other, you're not going to see the dominance that we see. You know what I'm saying?
No, well, see, that's the thing, is that's not the case. It's about how he approached the fight. If the other person isn't doing anything, yeah, you're gonna commit damage.
I thought it looked good, brother. I thought Spence looked good.
So did I.
I went back and analyzed the fight. You know the punch where he lost the mouthpiece and everything that he was hurt seconds before that.
Yeah.
He got hit with a right hand and he stumbled like he just stepped out of the bar after 6 hours in there. When he got hit with a short right hand, pop, one time. That's all it took. And he was drunk. And this is right before he got hit with the mouthpiece comes out. You'll see it. And there's a lady in the crowd. She looks over at the guy like, did you see that? Like, oh my God, he took a short right hand.
That's the risk when you don't fight Chris Van Heerden.
Right hands. One.
So let's.
The mouthpiece
Hey,
falls out.
I'm not gonna lie though, there is some merit to what you're saying because there was times in the fight where he did, like I was just referencing before he came up.
Are you getting brainwashed over here?
No. I'm just saying. Look, I'm trying. Look,
He was
I've heard,
like that.
I'm gonna just say this.
William Bossy, shout out to you, HCP. Thank you, brother.
Look, I'll just say this, right? I'm not saying entirely because I've heard other people say it, but I will say this: there was times in the first 4, 5, 6 rounds where he made Spence miss horribly, and he would just stand up in this position, like, okay, he's missing right here. You're just standing here and you're backing away, like, bro, no.
He's got like Carcino's got you like right now. Story, what's going on? He's got you right here.
No,
it is the facts.
I'm
Hey,
just
but
saying.
let me. Hold on, guys. Let me get Troy in here really quick. Troy, how's it going, brother?
How you doing, man?
How you doing, brother? What you think of?
Can you hear me?
Yes. What do you think of
Troy.
Ugas Spence, and do you think it was fixed?
No, I'm going to guess that gentleman is a Spence fan, right? He's a Spence fan.
Carcino, no.
I guess he can't hear me.
Who?
No, okay. No,
You
I didn't
Carcino.
see a fixed fight. I didn't see a fixed fight at all. I just saw a fight. I mean, there was some mistakes made in there. Ugas fights like most Cubans do. They can box and they can move, but a lot of times they don't let their hands go. Just ask Laura. They really don't let their hands go all the time. And the only Cuban I see that ever really let his hands go is Gamboa, and he needs to go and retire. That's really the only Cuban I've ever seen really let his hands go.
Yeah, for sure. Calix, give us your thoughts about the fight. what you think of Spence's performance, and do you think it was fixed?
Look, Carcino's my guy. Like him, we go way back. But everything that Carcino just said, I think the opposite.
Like whatever he says, like the other way.
Look, man, when we accuse a guy of purposely losing a fight for monetary gain, we're accusing him of the worst possible thing in the sport because we're accusing him of cheating on himself, losing the fight on purpose. That's a death penalty in baseball. But what I saw is the big question mark coming in that we all had was what Spence is going to show up. Was it Ferrari crash, eye patch, Dallas Pirate, Errol Spence, or is it going to be prime Errol Spence or somewhere close to it? This is the best Errol Spence I've seen. This is nutritionist, new and improved Errol Spence.
Believe it, Carcino. He's preaching right now. Listen.
But Carcino, listen.
Learn something.
Listen, Carcino. I think Ugas, whether it be Ugas or Porter or maybe Kelbrook, is Spence's best opponent to date. Okay? So what happened coming in, first round, feeling out round. What happened in the second round? Prime Spence walked out that corner. And when Prime Spence walked out that corner, the fight, for all intents and purposes, was over. Because we all said coming in, if Prime Spence walks in the door, Ugas isn't going to win the fight because good fighters don't beat great to special fighters when they're on their game. So what happened was everybody's saying, why did Ugas stop throwing punches? Two reasons. Number one, Spence stepped up the pressure. All right, he smothered him. He took away Ugas's jab. Then he went to the body viciously and took away the legs. So he took away the jab and the legs from Ugas. So Ugas was set up with a proposition. Do I go on my bicycle, all right, and stink this fight up and try to survive? Or do I, and he made the correct adjustment here. People are criticizing Ugas for this, but what he did was the correct adjustment. He stayed on his front foot, kept his leverage, and loaded up on the right hand in spots. All right, people are saying he should have let his hands go. How? Specifically, how is he going to let his hands go? If he's going to let his hands go, he had to fight a back foot, backpedaling strategy fight, which wasn't going to serve him any good because it gives Spence more leverage coming forward, and it has Ugas fighting off his back foot. And he's not going to win a fight that way. He's not. He's not going to win 7 rounds fighting that way in Dallas. So he said, I'm going to stay on my front foot. I'm going to load up on right hands, whether it be on opportunities to counter or in lulls of Errol Spence. But in order to do that, he had to take 5 to 7 to 8 of Errol Spence's shots, try to pick as many of them off as possible, and then load up on the right hand. And it's a strategy that paid dividends for him in the 6th round. Now, the criticism, this is where the fixed part comes in. The criticism is, and I have the same criticism of Ugas, he should have jumped on Spence. And where Showtime announcers missed is they were acting like the first punch was the mouthpiece punch. It was not. Ugas lands 3 punches before, 3 straight right hands before the mouthpiece falls out, right? And then Ugas doesn't jump on him. Now, that's my criticism of Ugas as well. He didn't jump on him before Lawrence Cole came in with his mouthpiece move. And if anybody is shady in this whole, we've been talking about Lawrence Cole for a decade on here. I'm in full agreement with Lawrence Cole. However, it's a big jump going from this guy didn't jump on him in the 6th round to the fight was fixed. What happened in the 7th round? His orbital bone is broken. He fights 3 more rounds with a broken orbital bone. If you're going to throw a fight, there's easier ways to throw a fight than a broken orbital bone. That do not involve a broken orbital bone and blood in the urine. There are easier ways to throw a fight than the ring back.
Carcino respond?
Why didn't Ugas' corner step in if the fight was fixed anyway and stop the punishment? Malik Scott, there's credible theories as to Malik Scott throwing a fight against Deontay Wilder. It happened in the first round. It's 2 phantom punches. But what I'm saying is that's a theory that's believable. This is not a believable theory that the fight was fixed.
That's not a theory.
At the end of the day, Spence put on a great performance. We're criticizing Ugas for not throwing the jab and moving, that's fully because of what Spence did early in the fight. He took those
Agreed.
things away from him.
Well,
I don't think
go
Errol
ahead.
Spence did anything in this fight to change the direction of the fight, the style of the fight. Ugas' fault, guys. He fought Sean Porter, and Sean Porter is a much more aggressive fighter, even though he didn't fight that aggressively against him. Ugas decided to take the let Errol Spence, I guess, burn himself out strategy, but there were plenty other before the 6th round. Errol Spence was missing terribly in the first 3 rounds. Before he was just over eager to get punches up. He was loading up way too much. And all of those making him miss, he wasn't making him pay. And if he was, I'm like, there's the shot. Like, it's clearly there. Like, I'm seeing it, and I'm like slapping my hands on the mat because I can't believe he's not taking these shots.
You don't think that's because you wanted to see Ugas win?
No. I just wanted to see what Errol would do against Ugas, being Ugas. And I wanted to actually see this fight. I knew there's no way a Texas fighter is going to lose in Texas. I told K9 Bundrich, I was like, he could knock out Errol Spence and still lose. This is Texas. And then this Lawrence Cole reffing, I said, Lawrence Cole is the ref? Here we go. Right when the fight started, that was the first statement I made. I said, Lawrence Cole is reffing? Oh, we're in Texas now. Here we go.
I personally thought he would get it. Real quick, Troy, I just want to make one last point to add to Callie's point, because I think that shuts down the conspiracy theory, the fact that nobody's going to, break their eye. Like, there's easier ways to lose, right? But the other thing is, if you're really going to commit this federal illegal act, right, and do that to a fight, right? Wouldn't you have done it to the Pacquiao-Ugas fight? Like, isn't that where the bag for Spence got dropped? Like, to do it to the Spence fight.
That's a good question. Hey, Carcino, why not the Pacquiao fight? They could have fixed that one.
Well, they thought that Manny Pacquiao would beat Ugas anyway. They never assumed Manny Pacquiao was going to lose. Ugas.
Hey, Troy.
Why would you need to go into that? And to answer Calix's statement about there's easier ways to lose a fight. He's a Cuban fighter. They want to go to distance. A fighter wants to go to distance. They don't mind getting screwed on the scorecards or saying they lost on the cards. They want to get there.
I don't know about that one, but I think they do mind when they get out, but
don't want to be stopped.
But I want to ask Troy a question though, because I heard what Troy said. He said that's not a theory, that's a fact about Malik Scott throwing the fight with Wilder. You think he really did throw the fight?
Yes, he did.
I trust my eyes. I still have 20/20 vision.
Yeah, he threw that fight.
He threw that fight. Now back to Earl and this young man here, Ugas. Mario said something that made me actually sit up. He's like, Errol Spence looked. He put on a fantastic, or was it an incredible performance on Saturday? No, he didn't, because he looked a whole lot better when he was fighting Danny Garcia in his last fight.
But
yes,
Danny
he did.
Garcia's worse than Ugas.
Let me finish. He was much more fluid. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Hey, hold on, man. I didn't say nothing. It's too many people talking at once. This is what happened. I have great eyes. He was much more fluid in the fight with Garcia than over here. I could see what he was thinking. I could see what he wanted to do, and he made stupid mistakes. Like he was. Anytime he made those mistakes that he made, that means he was overthinking the fight as well. That's. I didn't see nothing incredible from either man. I saw a good fight, but incredible. I have much higher standards than that for something incredible. Sorry, Mario. I have much, much more higher standards for incredible than that. Now, when it comes to Crawford and Spence, here's my honest to God, belief on it. I want it to happen, but based on the patterns that we've seen and just how things have rolled out the last couple of years, this fight is not going to happen. Because the first thing they said was, okay, you don't have a fan base and there's no money. Then all of a sudden, they found $100 million for Canelo, and then they said something about, they said there's no money for it, but then they found they found the money for Canelo all of a sudden, and all of it, then they said that he didn't fight anybody. But at the same token, he's beaten every single body that they put in front of him. And if you look at his resume and you put it side by side with Spence's, I'm going to tell you something. It's equal.
I get your point, but it's like saying like, oh, you didn't have money to buy me that watch, but you found money for the groceries. Well, yeah, like Canelo was an investment. He was going to make a lot of that money back for them.
Okay, so wait a second now. You're telling me that your so-called, money man over there, Spence, is not an investment? That's what you just said?
Not as big as Canelo.
Okay, so basically,
he's not. Let me reword that. He's not going to make the money back. Let
me hear you clear. He's not worth it. Then it's not Crawford that's not worth it. It's Spence that's not worth it.
Maybe he's not. No, not to that degree. No, not for that type of money.
It don't have to be $100 million. It's not $100 million fight.
I agree with that.
This at best should be a $20 million fight. I don't know. Shoot. But ain't no damn $100 million. I don't see no $100 million. Listen to me. There's no superstars, really no household names or so-called legends in boxing in this era. Crawford and Spence are not household names. Most people outside of boxing do not know who they are. They are equal in the sport of boxing. They're two undefeated heavyweight champions, but outside of boxing, nobody really knows who the hell they are. Yeah.
Wow.
Incredible.
Hey, so
incredible.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh man, I'm just getting Mario fired up. You act like you don't hear me.
Go ahead, Mario. I know you want to respond. Go ahead.
Listen, it wasn't like. Here's the thing. I don't think that. I know Troy really well, and I know he knows boxing more than he's letting on with this comment. Because the thing is this, right? You could say that we've seen more dominant versions of Spence, and that's fine because he's fought worse fighters than Ugas, so that would make sense. You could also say it wasn't a performance that you felt changes your mind on whether you thought he'd beat Crawford or not. The problem is that if you already had Crawford going into it, which I do in that fight, it's really hard to convince anybody otherwise, right? Like I pick Crawford still. I think Terrence Crawford is the second best fighter on the planet in the welterweight division. I just don't think he beats Crawford. So there are aspects of Troy's, Crawford. I think Crawford's the best, 100%. I don't think it's that distant of a race. Like I have him a half a notch better than Spence rather. So like I use Ugas as I guess like looking at it and putting it in a vacuum. Now I believe Spence Crawford is the fight between the two very best welterweights in the world. And that's a fight I'm willing to pay, upwards to $85, $90 for, but before Ugas, he needed to show it to me that he was still,
you still know how to waste your money.
Hey, but check it out though. Check it out. We got about maybe 3-4 minutes, 5 minutes most to go to wrap this one up before the shoe shine will be live in a little bit. But hey, Carcero, I want to thank you for coming on, brother. Any final words you want to grace us with?
I just think that Errol Spence needs to retire probably after his next fight.
What?
Yeah. Errol Spence, I mean, really, he's going to get hurt. If they put him in a real fight, he's going to get hurt.
Well, they're going to put him in there with Crawford. So what do you think happens in the Crawford
I agree
fight?
with that.
He's going to get stopped against Crawford in about 9 rounds, maybe less.
I agree
Oh,
with that.
man, he said that with
He's
such confidence. By the way, if he beats Crawford,
I think the accident did a lot more damage than he knows. He cannot take punches.
But if he beats him, you're going to give him credit.
You said what?
If he beats Crawford, you're going to give him credit, right?
Oh, hell yeah. If they beat Crawford, first I got to investigate to make sure Crawford kids isn't tied up in a van by Al Heyman's goon.
All right, brother. Have a good one, brother. Thanks for coming on, brother.
Carcino been reading too many Daniel Killahan articles.
I got a question for the panel before you shut it down.
Quick, yes, we're going to wrap it up, but go really quick, Troy.
Okay, good. Ugas. I mean, the same Ugas that fought on Saturday. If he would have fought Crawford like that, does he go the whole 12 rounds?
No.
He doesn't go half 12.
He didn't go to full 12 in this fight.
Well,
Probably
That
not.
was
But
stopped by the referee, though. That was stopped by the referee.
He still
Thank
didn't go
God.
12.
yeah, man. But hey, Mario, any thoughts about anything really quick, brother?
No, I mean, I just want to say that, this weekend was awesome, and the boxing's just getting better throughout the next few weeks, or months, really, until June. Things are going to be super popping. So, I'm super excited for that. And this weekend delivered for sure. It might not have been everybody's cup of coffee, I guess, but if you're a fight fan, you were definitely engaged pretty much all weekend. So awesome fights.
Absolutely. Historian. By the way, plug in your stuff and tell everybody where they can find all that good stuff.
Okay, well, I'm the Boxing Historian 206 on YouTube. You can find me on there, and you can find me on Twitter, Boxer 206 or something like that. All right, as well as on Twitter. My final thoughts, though, Terrence Crawford gonna knock the shit out of him, bro. He's gonna knock out Errol Spence. Look, his performance was good coming back off a 16-month layoff. Retina tear. I'm not going to take nothing away from his victory. And I will say there is some, I do have my suspicions, especially now that someone else, because it's second or third time someone else reiterated why this guy Ugas stopped throwing punches. All right, when he was making the man miss. I'm gonna tell you something. Crawford gonna stop him within 10 rounds. You're gonna see a B+ fighter fight an A level fighter. That's how that fight's gonna play out.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
Yes.
Troy, give us some final thoughts, brother, and tell everybody where they can find you.
Final thoughts, real quick. Until they're in the ring throwing punches at each other, I don't believe this fight is gonna happen. Dillian White will be undisputed. If the only way that he will not be undisputed if Joshua gets his focus back, because he cannot beat Joshua when he's 100% right.
Oh,
If Joshua's not 100% right, Dillian White will be heavyweight, the undisputed. And for the first time in my country's history, I am Jamaican. We will have an undisputed heavyweight champion. I'm coming for you, Mario. He gone already. Damn. Okay.
Hey, Spence is Jamaican? You back up Spence?
Spence is Jamaican.
His father's Jamaican. Yeah, his family's Jamaican. And he's cool and all. I have a lot of respect for his skills, but something about the way he moves, I don't trust him. I don't kiss. I don't kiss men on the neck.
What about Lennox Lewis?
Yeah, what about Lennox?
Lennox Lewis was born in England.
He fought for Jamaica in the Olympics.
No, it was Canada.
Oh, Canada. Sorry about that.
Yeah. Hey, Calix, give us some final thoughts real quick, brother.
This thing is going sideways. And look, I was fired up coming in, but the Spence detractors are too likable for me to even get mad. But I've been going, Carcino, we've gone way back. I can't get mad at you. But no, man, I thought it was a great performance. I've said for D-Style, 3, 4, 5 years, I think Crawford takes Spence's head off. This is the first fight I've watched, first Spence fight, where I was sitting on the couch. I was like, I need to rethink this. And I think y'all are being overly critical of Spence's performance, Carcino. He beat a good fighter, and he beat a good fighter who fought well. I mean, Ugas fought as good as he could have, but Spence dug to the body earlier. He was vicious. He was unforgiving. He was merciless, Carcino. He was merciless.
Fans, I want y'all to listen right now. Subscribe to this page right now. Hit that subscribe button, that notification bell. This is why it's going to pay so well. And I'm going to make a lot of money to be able to retire off of this fight.
Oh, man.
Off of that statement right there. There is nothing in that fight that showed me other than he needs to retire and retire probably after 1 or 2 fights.
Come on, man. He's gonna shot by Mean Machine. He ain't unstoppable, brother.
But this needs to be highlighted. Back when, because I don't want to come off as a Crawford hater when I big up Spence, because you know how it is. Like when I big up Golovkin, the Canelo fans come at me and don't realize that I'm a Canelo fan as well. It's like I'm taking I'm putting on a red rag and walking through South Central LA. That's not what's happening here. I have a lot of respect for Crawford and Spence. I've been pushing Crawford on my channel for a decade. Back when everybody was praising Adrian Broner, I was saying, no. Look at this guy. He's better than Broner. This is the guy we should be pushing. And guess what? Look at where we're at now. But I'll tell you what. Spence looked good. And if Spence comes out aggressive like that, I do believe he gets stopped late by Crawford. But I'll tell you what, he could hurt Crawford too. Because Crawford starts slow. And you know that
really quick.
You know that, Carcino. Crawford starts slow.
It only appears to be slow for everyone else. He's not. He's thinking. He's looking and trying to find openings on what's going to work and what's not going to work. And with this, it's going to be.
But Carcino, guess what? When Spence is thinking early, guess what? Or when Crawford's thinking early, guess what Spence is going to be doing? He's going to be throwing punches.
Right, and he's just hoping to hit something. Yeah, and that's. But the thing is that he's going to get hit back this time, and that's the only difference. Somebody's not going to care about if his head falls into the third row. So the thing about it is he telegraphed every punch he threw, Count. Do you realize Ugas saw everything? He was ducking every shot he threw because believe me, it was like he was loading up. He wasn't doing anything. Look at his feet, Count. His feet were all over the place. When he gets caught with the 1-2, his feet are almost touching each other. He's off balance. His feet work is terrible. It's like not even close. And his equilibrium, when he was getting hit with shots, you saw him like stumbling back like a wino almost. He was not able to take shots the same way anymore up top. It's really different than when he was. He just looked better than he did in the Danny Garcia fight. He was better conditioned. And he also got hurt in the 9th round with body shots. I don't know if you guys saw that. But in the 9th round, Ugas hurt him with a right to the body.
That's true. He caught him with a solo pike shot.
With a 1-2, and he was done. He was just trying to paw to get himself out the 9th round. He was done. Those 2 body shots hurt him. Even in the corner, they told him, it's like, hey, like you hurt him to the body. You finally let your hands go. See what happens when you let your hands go? And like, just do that. But he was trying to get to the end and finish the fight on his feet, so he can have some pride. He didn't want to get stopped.
These got one last thing.
I don't mind stopping the fight when a guy's got a broken orbital bone. If that's the case, I haven't heard Ugas people say anything.
She's shining live yet, so we're good.
I'm hearing Derek James talk.
Carcino, I'm giving you one last chance to back off the fixed thing. There's no way you think Ugas fixed that fight. He lost on purpose.
Like how do you do that? Like you like was the eye part of it? Like you're gonna have to just let him hit you right in the eye.
No, let him hit you. See, people think they get the wrong interpretations of throwing a fight.
Oh, okay.
Throwing a fight don't mean like you get to hit me. It's saying I'm not gonna do what I need to do to get you up out of here. I'm just gonna throw punches, and if there's openings I know I can take, I'm just gonna keep it in there. Just think Joshua Kaladi Pacquiao. When you think of any fight that you want to know was fixed, and it just didn't go the way.
Was it fixed, or did he have diarrhea and he was holding it? Because he's told 2 different stories.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, all the weight loss or whatever. I mean, I don't know how he held it that long for 12 rounds.
I feel this is what I feel. I think you feel about Spence the way you feel about the Charlo. Hey, Carcino, I need to get your opinion about Jermall Charlo starting shit, talking a lot, but he won't get in the ring with David Benavidez.
Well, I've been saying this for over 12 or 10 years now about I was a hater. Now everybody agrees with me.
You got in on Jermall, though, right?
Yeah, no, but the thing is, it's Jermall. Like the incident we had was with Jermall. Then Jermall is the one that started all of the controversy. And Jermall didn't even really care. And he was like, I talked to Jermall on the phone. Everything was resolved. He's just like, oh, okay. Yeah, well, no, I'm not mad at you guys. Everything was good and respectful. He's like, yeah, it's my brother Jermall. He's a little nervous, his first title fight, so he was like, just let Jermall calm down. He'll be okay. Just let him calm. I'm like, I don't do that. I'm like, no, he's not finna just go ahead and like a tantrum like a child and then just continue. No, I'm calling him right now and I'm stopping this right now. So when I got him on the phone, it was immediate. He could not talk to me. That's why he wanted to talk to Sean, because Sean is more like, hey, let's conversate. And he could just rant and rave and talk crazy to Sean, and Sean won't like say anything. Sean be like, I don't understand his temper. Like, why is he upset? He stays at one octave. Me, it was like, what's your problem? He was, who is this? What is your problem? I'm the one that wrote the art. You're mad at the person that said it. You're supposed to be more mad at him. You're mad at me, and I wrote it, and I wrote something to defend the statement that argued against what he said. They never even read the article. They never read it. And that's how I knew. I said, you never read it. You didn't even read it. And you in here fighting and arguing over something you didn't even read. I was like, and I'm like, we took it down just because you weren't happy with it. We was just like, you know what, take it down. I was like, now I want to put it back up. I wish I had it in there. I just got rid of it because it's like not like we eat off you. I was like, and the guy's like, you know what? We got Showtime now. So you know what? We don't even need this rinky dink thing no more. Like on the internet, we big. We're the Charlo. We got Showtime. I'm like,
hey, but
you make any money? I was like, we make our money off Mayweather and Pacquiao. Are you thinking one of them?
Hey, but Casino, Joe Habib says you're a genius and you convinced him. You convinced him the fight was a fix.
Joe Habib, the Beeb, that's right. Beeb,
we gotta revisit this. The fight was fixed
thing. They
didn't
want to mess up this money with Crawford. They protecting the big business, and the big business is gonna take place, and we're going to see right away how bad Errol really is. And I just hope he make enough money in this fight where he can go do something else, because he really did not look good at all in that fight. And I was worried. Because I was like, he's not taking the shots well. And I'm seeing him, and he's so open to be hit. And his equilibrium, and he's throwing the punches too wide. He's telegraphing. There's no feints. It's just load up. And Crawford's not just going to stand there and do this all night. As nothing he done. He's going to take Errol's jab away. Everybody talk about the jab and how active he is. Terrence will switch southpaw and take his jab away. Because if he jabs like he's jabbing now and Crawford's in the southpaw stance, he's going to get hit with a right hook.
Right.
And that's going to change all of that. Trust me, they already seen it. Like, I know Red Spikes. I know Terrence's team. And I talked with them. They told me to go back fights ago. They was like, go back and look at this fight. And I went in there, and it's like, look at his footwork in there. He's been this bad. And Showtime Boxing has put me on a 3-day suspension on Instagram because I'm like, what the hell did I do?
You said the fight was fixed.
I'm figuring it out. I didn't even say that. I just posted his thing of him calling.
You're like Will Smith asking, what did you do? Like, you know what you did?
Will Smith ain't even coming after me. I'm like, here's the thing. Will ain't even coming after me.
I'm talking about Will with the Oscars. You know what happened?
There's Crawford. And I just posted like, I didn't even really say anything. I said nothing in the 1-minute video.
Yeah.
Not one word. And Showtime came out to me like I was fired in that fight.
Well, look, we're going to go ahead and wrap this one up. But I want to thank you for coming on, Kurt. Maybe next week you could come on. You know what I mean? If you're available.
Time today.
Yeah, that's right. But I want to thank everybody for tuning in. This is D-Style Boxing for Carlos Casino, for everybody that was on, and we thank you guys. The link to the shoe shine is in the chat. Everybody go check out the shoe shine, man. We're out of here.
All
Peace.
Right. Peace.